So we have something here that is a treasure, and I don't know if you can see the words on it, but on it it says, "For you love God." All right? So today is a very special day in the life of all the congregation, even though they're not right here, but we're filming it for them. We have come together to worship God and to present Bibles to our third grade students. You have reached a special time in our church life. You have heard Bible stories read to you. You have looked at pictures in your storybook Bibles. You have even sometimes memorized verses. But now the time has come for you to have your very own Bible, to read the stories and to discover the Christian faith for yourself, and to experience, most of all, the truth in these stories. We all rejoice with you and your families in this special time. So I was wondering if Parker would come up. All right, so Parker, this treasure is wrapped in brown paper to remind us all that this treasure is very, very old, over 3,000 years old. In fact, it was so old that when the stories were first told, they couldn't even write them down. They didn't have paper and pen. They had to tell the stories to each other. So this is to remind us that this is a very old treasure. Would you take off the brown part? Thank you. So everybody can see the color, right? What color do we have here? Gold. All right, Elliot? Hang on just a second. So the gold tells us, like some of you may wear jewelry that's gold. We say that the metal gold is very valuable. Well, what we're going to show you today is that this is more valuable than gold. It is a source of truth and guidance that even gold cannot buy. So, Elliot, will you take off the gold wrapper? Keep going. Keep going. There you go. There you go. Perfect. I don't know if you can see back there. Can you tell what this is wrapped in now? There's a newspaper. How many of you don't know what a newspaper is? So this is wrapped in the best stories of the world are found in this. Like maybe when Daniel was thrown into the lion's den, or maybe when Moses went and got the 10 Commandments off the mountain, or maybe when Paul was shipwrecked. The wonderful stories in here. And what our hope is that these stories will live in you, and you'll find your place in these stories, and they will help you. So let's see, Maggie, will you come take off the newspaper? All right, the last color that we have is white. And this is to tell us all that this book is inspired by God, the purity and the love of God. It came from a people who had a special understanding of God. Therefore, it is like no other book you will ever own. When you read it, you will try to learn and understand what God's hope and desire for you is. In the Bible, we have a message from God and about God. Now we pass on this treasured book to our third graders, and we thank God for his love of you and his love in print. Freeman, would you come take off the white? While he's doing that, does anybody want to take a guess at what the treasure might be? What do you think, Elise? She thinks it might be the Bible. Does anybody agree? It might be the Bible? All right, we'll see.
You're doing great, Freeman. You're doing great. There you go.
True.
True. Thank you, Freeman.
All right. So this is a special hands-on Bible that we present to our third graders. And now to present them.
So one of the things I love about this particular moment in our church's life is that when the children receive their Bible, there's also a special verse picked out just for them. So a sentence or two from Scripture as a blessing for them in particular. And I think it's a way for all of us to remember that the Word isn't just this kind of out there book that's for everybody. It is for everybody, but it's also for you. It's for you. And there are words in here for you to hear that will bless your life. So
All right. Charlie Fortner.
Charlie, your words come from Romans 8, verses 38 and 39. I am sure that nothing can separate us from the love of God. Nothing in all creation can separate us.
Emerson Krause.
Emerson, your words come from Psalm 139. The Lord goes before you and stays with you. He places his hand of blessing on your head. His hand will guide you, and his strength will support you. You are wonderfully made.
Maya Graham.
Maya, your verse comes from Proverbs 3. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding.
Riley Doran.
Riley, your verse comes from Ephesians 6. Let the mighty strength of the Lord make you strong. Put on the armor that God gives. Never stop praying, especially for others.
June Crebahaney.
Your verse comes from Joshua, the very first chapter. Be strong and brave. Don't be afraid or discouraged. I am the Lord your God, and I will be there to help you wherever you go.
Emily Bruce.
Emily, your verse comes from the first chapter of Philippians. Every time I think of you, I thank my God. God is the one who began this good work in you.
Elise Moss.
Elise, your verse comes from the book of Hebrews, chapter 13. Let mutual love continue, for by doing that, some have entertained angels unaware.
Blessings on this wonderful day. Blessings on these families who care enough to bring their children up in faith, that because they want their children's faith to matter. This concludes the presentation.